What is your name and what are you building?
I'm Simran. I'm the founder and CEO of Coparo, a clean label in home care.
Tell us about Coparo in one sentence.
हमारे products में ना ही कोई harmful toxins, ना ही कोई artificial colors, and they give you 3x more cleaning.
What will be revenue this year?
We'll do about 40 crores net.
15 minutes on primetime national TV, Shark Tank. How much is that in terms of monetary value to a startup?
15 crores तक
Wow.
की वैल्यू वी हैव गॉट, क्योंकि हमारी बेसलाइन ही 3x हो गई है.
Wow. What would be your advice, to founders who are now looking to apply for Shark Tank India season 4?
Pre-shooting, my only advice is prepare,
Yeah,
right? And post-shooting,
Yeah.
My advice is plan.
When should a founder, like in the D2C consumer space, raise money?
I think it's important to see some product in its flesh and
Yeah.
blood. I would like to think that would be even fair, both sides.
One tip you'd like to give to any founder who's looking to start up? ऐसी क्या 3-4 चीज़ें हैं as a D2C founder which you must be doing in the initial days to kind of start scaling your website? And अगर एक founder आज start कर रहे हैं तो क्या लोग होने चाहिए जो they should definitely hire? Thank you so much, Simran, for doing this podcast. We've been, I've known you for a year now. You guys are building a really amazing brand, disrupting, what you can call traditional, boring categories, right? And like I've seen you work, I've seen you grow, right? And you were on Shark Tank as well. I think you're backed by Aman and Vinita now.
Right.
So congratulations on your journey. And I just feel that a lot of early stage founders can learn a lot, from how you build the brand. So very excited, to do this podcast.
Very excited to be here. We've been interacting, and I'm so happy this is finally happening.
Yeah.
Always happy to give back to the community in any which way.
Great, and thank you for braving the Delhi to Gurgaon traffic on a weekday. But since you've been a consultant, you've been at Star, I think मेरा पहला सवाल ये है कि 15 मिनट on national TV prime time, how much is that in terms of monetary value?
करण, सारे प्राइम टाइम एक नहीं होते हैं. तो शार्क टैंक एक इम्पैक्ट प्रॉपर्टी कहलाता है, और ये बहुत ही हाई इम्पैक्ट प्रॉपर्टी है जो बहुत ही एफ्लुएंट ऑडियंस, अर्बन ऑडियंस देखती है. तो इसके सेकेंडरीज की वैल्यू बहुत हाई होती है. तो अगर इसका वैल्यू मैं गिनूँ, OTT की जो इन्वेंट्री भी मिलती है आपको उसका गिनूँ, और यूट्यूब पे भी इम्प्रेशंस आते हैं और वो बिल्ड करते रहते हैं.
क्योंकि YouTube पे जो एक बार आ गया वो तो फिर लाइफ टाइम के लिए, इट विल ऑलवेज कीप ऑन ग्रोइंग.
एग्जैक्टली. तो ये तो रफली 15 करोड़ तक की वैल्यू वी हैव गॉट, फ्री ऑफ
जैसे लोग आपको पॉडकास्ट के लिए बुलाते हैं.
माय प्लेजर.
बट 15 crore of value to a startup or D2C brand is insane, right? And so उसका क्या knock off रहा है in terms of growth, since आपका episode air हुआ है?
So early weeks are very exciting, So the early weeks, so we were trending at a 6x improvement in our revenues. Now it has settled down to about a 3x. पर मैं आपको बोल सकती हूँ कि हमारी baseline ही 3x हो गई है.
Wow, that's awesome. I think चलो I would love to talk more about your Shark Tank experience. But I think one thing that I ask a lot of founders on this podcast as well is कि आपको क्या inspire किया to be a founder and especially start Coparo, right? Like I said कि ये थोड़ा boring और traditional category है, तो क्यों Coparo choose किया? Like what was the key insight behind starting the business? Would love to kind of know from you.
So Coparo is an idea that came to me in the pandemic. हम घर पर थे, हम सब सफाई में जुटे हुए थे. My husband, my daughter would also be helping me in cleaning, right? And we were also very ingredient aware. People were talking कि bleach use करें, नहीं use करें, खाना कहाँ से मंगा रहे हो, how you washing your vegetables, और बहुत conversation थी around ingredients and cleaning and hygiene. And I realized कि जो हमारे everyday cleaning products हैं, they are full of toxic chemicals, they're full of colors, and they're full of very, very strong anti-bacs, which many countries internationally have banned. And in India, we do not have regulation around this, and I saw that as an opportunity,
और मे बी ये जो इंटरनेशनल ब्रांड्स है बाहर शायद डिफरेंट फॉर्मुलेशन सेल कर रहे हैं और इंडिया में वो शायद डिफरेंट फॉर्मुलेशन.
ये तो हमें अभी फूड में भी पता ही लग रहा है, राइट? कि देयर इज अ डिफरेंट इन्फेंट मिल्क फार्मूला in the US, a different formula for Europe, and a different formula for India.
Correct.
So I think somewhere, I saw that as an opportunity. That अगर हमारा hygiene quotient इतना high होने वाला है, right? इतने tailwinds हैं. Everyone is talking about cleanliness. We have the whole Swachh Bharat Abhiyan going on. We will certainly see more revenue growth, more opportunities, more products over here coming up. And then why not be one of them, right? And to be honest, ये जो boring part है, it didn't bother me, you know. I think
maybe ये opportunity थी.
I think it's an opportunity. I think ऐसा भी होता है कि I feel कि home care is where beauty was 4 to 5 years ago, you know, where you have now started seeing, you know, 8 to 10% e-commerce का share हो गया है in the overall
मतलब कि इंडिया का जो पूरा रिटेल कंजम्पशन है इन द होम केयर कैटेगरी उसमें से ई कॉमर्स अबाउट 8% है.
अभी 8% है, राइट. एंड प्रीमियमाइजेशन के ट्रेंड्स यहाँ पर भी आ रहे हैं. ब्रांड्स लाइक अस, देयर आर अदर ब्रांड्स इन द पोर्टफोलियो लाइक आवर्स, यू नो, हु हैव आल्सो स्टार्टेड गेटिंग अ कंज्यूमर बेस, व्हिच मींस कि अभी तो बस मतलब growth आने वाली है, you know. So it is boring to begin with because it's not as exciting or as glamorous as apparel could be, or jewelry could be, or fragrances could be. But it's an industry जिसमें बहुत depth है, you know, because cleaning तो आपको करनी है. You have to wash your dishes 3 times a day, right? And एक बार ही आप घुस गए, आपका product efficacy अच्छा है, you will be bought again and again and again. So the sheer repeatability. For me, that's very exciting. You know, I'd choose a boring business over any kind of glamour if the fundamentals are strong.
And you know, do you also feel that जैसे like आपने बताया कि tailwinds है, इंडिया का discretionary spend बढ़ रहा है.
Yes.
You know, we are becoming more conscious of what we are putting in our bodies, what is around us, right? Which is kind of you know, helping people adopt these new age brands, right? So like, what according to you has worked in the case of Koparo in terms of you know, like getting your initial set of customers?
Right. So initially, you know, you run a brand, right? So initially we go with a set of hypotheses, right? So मेरा एक stereotypical image था mind में कि मेरा consumer होगा, there'll be a young mother, she'll have a toddler in arms, she'll be like worried कि वो ज़मीन पे, you know, toxic chemicals तो नहीं है,
कुछ अगर ज़मीन पे गिरा तो वो खा रही है,
तो खाएगा, then ये होगा, वो होगा, and therefore my number one product will be floor cleaner.
Interesting.
We launched with floor cleaner. It's a good product for us, but it's a number 4 product for us.
Wow.
Because
और ये एक फाउंडर के लाइफ में इतना होता है कि जो हम सोचते हैं हमारा प्रोडक्ट बनेगा वो कभी हमारा नंबर 1 प्रोडक्ट होता नहीं है. Because the customer tells us something else.
And the customer is always right.
Yeah.
So for us, our number 1 product is dishwash liquid.
Wow.
And now, looking back, you can connect the dots and see that it makes sense, right? Because you just said something very interesting, right? That हम सोच रहे हैं कि हम अपने खाने में क्या डाल रहे हैं, हम क्या खा रहे हैं. तो kitchen is a very holy place, you know, in an Indian home, as it should be. And therefore, as a homemaker or a professional, you are worried कि what am I washing my dishes with? So the first place that you are able to invest an extra 20 rupees, extra 30 rupees for your health will be in your kitchen, you know. So no surprise there, dish, you know. The second is laundry, because it's the sheer size. So laundry liquids, I mean, you would have been reading up, right, today, they're really on the rise, you know. So laundry liquids are, you know, close to half of the market today.
In terms of the cleaning
yes.
Cleaning products.
Yeah, and within powder, the movement to liquid has been very, very solid. Because जैसे जैसे washing machine की adoption बढ़ रही है and front load washing machines are leading that, people want to take good care of their machines also and clothes also.
Because इसका reason ये भी हो सकता है कि because people are actually spending a lot more on their clothes now, so they want to take care.
Absolutely, that's the correct insight. You know. So what we are also seeing is that, you know, dish is number 1 and liquid detergent is number 2 for us.
What you put in your body is actually number 1. Then what you put on
your body, exactly. And I think that's a classical Unilever framework, right? In me, on me, and then around me. You know,
in me, on me, and
around me.
Okay.
Right? Or maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I think it's around me, which is your surface cleaners.
Interesting. Know? So your floor cleaners was actually around
was
me.
The last one.
So that's why like now like it makes like in hindsight it makes
correct.
Sense. Yeah. But like, so has that been picking up as well, or like your major categories have been like your dishwasher, liquid, and your.
So top 3 products are dish, followed by liquid detergent.
Got it.
Then we have hand wash, which does very well.
Interesting.
And then floor cleaner.
Got it.
And then of course, you know, the multitude of surface sprays that we have and some complementary accessories that we have for cleaning.
Got it. And अगर आप इंडिया का cleaning market देखोगे, right? So like, how is the market structured? Like you have like some of these large brands like HUL, Reckitt, and I think HUL के 7-8 brands तो होंगे like across you know, चाहे dishwashing हो गया, चाहे floor हो गया, you know, you have Surf, Vim, Rin, Nature Protect, so many brands, right?
Correct.
Reckitt as well, right? So how's like what are some of the larger brands in the market? And you know, if I may ask you this, like you've already mentioned कि हम इन 3-4 categories में play कर रहे हैं, like what kind of gives you the right to disrupt these existing larger players?
So today the market is very large and it is very consolidated, you know. So you're absolutely right. Unilever, Reckitt, you know, P&G, I mean, and then there's obviously like a Jyoti Labs, and there'll be a few other players like that. These are the strongest players in the market today. Like Vim is like, you know, the dishwash liquid, right? And that's a Unilever product. Reckitt has a Lysol and a Harpic and so on. And then of course there's the big giants in detergents between Surf and Ariel and Tide. So it is very much concentrated with these top 3 guys. Our right to win is simple. I think the consumer has evolved and consumers are not, you know, schizophrenic, right? So if you are choosing better in terms of your nutrition, you know, you're choosing better in terms of what you're putting on your body, you will also eventually choose better on what you're putting in your house. We are already seeing the benefits of it, but we will see the benefits of this at higher scale as time goes by. And maybe your follow-on question, if I'm preempting, is that won't the national brands, why can't they do the same?
Correct.
You know, and I think the reality is they can, and they are, and that gives me even more confidence that I'm on the right path. Vim just launched a Vim Pure.
Wow.
You know, I don't know what that means. Is Vim not pure? But that's for another podcast with the brand manager at Vim for you to do. Definitely, I think they see the opportunity. They understand that the consumer preferences will shift. But I think the millennials of today, like the targets that I am speaking to.
What is your target age group?
It tends to be above the ages of 25 to about 55.
Okay.
It is slightly older, you know, and a big bulk of our age is 35 to 45. Because this time आपके पास घर होता है, आपके छोटे बच्चे हैं. This is when you are doing your entire journey of a slightly evolved purchase, you know. And you care enough about your home.
I remember, you know, I discovered Coparo in my kitchen, right? So my wife had ordered it on Amazon, and that's when I love the packaging, and you know, we had the line flavor ka dishwashing liquid, and that's when I reached out. Yeah, this is a founder that I must reach out to, right? So like I think that's the kind of age group that you're kind of reaching out to right now. Because like we had toddlers, we had kids, and we realized that we must be very careful of at least you know, their plates.
At least the kitchen.
At least the kitchen. Interesting. And you know, you mentioned that some of the bigger guys are also now innovating and, you know, like launching these products. But so like from your sense, and maybe like you're a D2C brand, so you're able to talk to customers better. So like does that also kind of give you an edge right now in terms of innovating faster, in terms of your features, in terms of product development, in terms of you know, relating to them better, in terms of understanding a lot of their pain points?
Absolutely. I think being a D2C brand gives you a lot of customer connections. It gives you the right to be more authentic because you have that relationship, right? आप बात कर रहे हो, आप पता कर रहे हो कि आज क्या problem है, कल क्या problem है. आप UGC content बना रहे हो, right? And you are more relatable, you know, today. Because I think, you know, what you cannot compete on is their distribution, right? But on everything else, you're scoring higher. So you see where that takes you.
I think एक बहुत ही classic case study, like if you were to look at the 1970s to 1990s of a brand which kind of disrupted the bigger players, you know, is Nirma, right? Like Mr. Karsan Bhai Patel, coming from a very, very humble background, being a lab technician, right? And today is worth 25,000 crores, right? और उनका core insight ये था कि जो बड़ी companies हैं, like HUL, which had Surf at that time, right? They were not innovating for the Indian audiences. Maybe they are not even innovating today, right? At that time in the 1970s, Surf was for 13.5 rupees a kg,
right?
और 99% Indian audience के लिए वो unaffordable था, right? And उन्होंने कहा कि अगर, and that's why people used to wash their clothes with soda ash. तो उन्होंने सोचा कि अगर मैं एक detergent powder बना सकता हूँ, which is affordable, which is accessible, I can create a big dent. He launched Nirma, I think at a 3.5 rupees per kg, which is like 1/4 of the price. Same cleaning abilities. Then he went door to door to kind of improve his distribution and grow his word of mouth. And finally, when he had a little bit of scale, they invested in a little bit of advertising and launched the iconic Nirma jingle, right? Which is so culturally relevant and catchy that, you know, like people even remember it today. Right? And I think product, price, distribution and their advertising, they got all four bang on from the 1970s, till the 90s at least, right? And that is like one way to kind of disrupt some of the bigger players, right? So I think today, in today's context, right, like if you look at it with changing consumer preferences, I think this is a huge kind of a tailwind for newer brands to kind of, and with D2C you can again speak to your customers directly, you can understand their pain points, you can innovate for them, you can launch newer categories for them,
and you're faster at it, right? There's no bureaucracy around a process, there's not necessarily an SOP which is slowing you down at that point in time. There isn't a very major annual plan to be created to take certain approvals on. If you feel this is the right thing to do for that quarter, you will go and gun for it. So there is more nimbleness, right? But वो सब भी ठीक है. But सबसे ज़्यादा मुझे लगता है कि there is more authenticity, there is more truth telling.
People relate to you.
Yeah, because आप नहीं बोल रहे हो ना कि चौंका देने वाली सफेदी and 100 नींबुओं की शक्ति. You are staying away from all that talk. I think अब लोग पक गए हैं. उनको नहीं सुनना. ये झूठ तो बिल्कुल नहीं सुनना है.
And also like अगर आप कोपारो के पेज पे जाओगे तो like it will be all you, right? So like it's almost like a mom creating products for other moms and other families and trusted and backed by a mom, right? So like even that relatability is also higher.
True.
So so like what would be like the size of the home cleaning market today? And essentially like आपने बताया कि 8 से 10% is what is online penetration. So आज कितना बड़ा market होगा?
So see, home care, अगर मैं सिर्फ organized की बात करूँ, it is well in excess of 14,000 crores.
Okay.
अब उसमें से कितना liquid है, how it cuts up across subcategories, that is different.
And subcategories would be like floor, would be kitchen, would be
yes. So the largest is detergents.
Okay.
That's the largest category. Followed of course by dish. Then there is floor and surface, and then toilet care and insect care.
And
so
you want to be in all of these?
So at the moment we don't have a toilet cleaning product, but we are launching one in the next 10 to 15 days. And and we are not present in insect care. No reason to not play in it, to be very honest. We want to build a category play. We think it is possible today. ये भी question मुझे काफी आता है कि आप how can you be both in dish and in hand and in this. And I think what we are selling is a promise. We are selling a promise of transparency of ingredients, no added colors. We're actually writing our ingredients at the back of our labels, which in this industry is not mandatory.
Oh, interesting. जैसे food में तो mandatory होता है, like you have to declare all the ingredients.
Because of FSSAI, right? But here it's not mandatory. Even personal care में mandatory है because of cosmetic license. But here it's not mandatory. So you don't even know what you're buying. But we want to tell you what you're buying, so you can make an informed choice.
Interesting. And do you think this regulatory change might even come in the future?
I think it'll come, but it'll probably be slow to come. But I think ऐसा नहीं है कि consumers don't know कि ये सब. I think these ads are now cringe now. I think consumers know कि इसमें नींबू नहीं है. नींबू का भाव ये है. ये 100 कहाँ से डाल लेंगे? I think consumers know that much.
And so you mentioned that 14,000 crore का market है. So like that's what Koparo is kind of looking at today, or you want to kind of first be an online only brand, like grow on online marketplaces, grow on quick commerce. So like what is the kind of market that you are looking at today?
So I think today for us we are predominantly online. We have very limited presence in offline. We will certainly experiment in offline. But I think offline will be at more of an experimental stage for us in this fiscal, and we can use the learnings to grow in the subsequent fiscal. And this fiscal will really be about an online scale up, because अभी वहाँ पे tailwinds बहुत आए हैं, right? I think आप I don't know आपका क्या consumer behavior है, but quick commerce is such a big channel, right?
Yeah, for sure.
अब वो grocery adoption online इतनी push कर रहे हैं कि you can also enjoy these tailwinds, right? And that is how brands get built.
I wanted to buy a trimmer from Philips, and generally मेरा buying habit क्या होता है कि I would go on Amazon, I would research, I would find the reviews, and then I would place an order on Amazon. This time I did the same thing, but जब मुझे finally product code मिल गया, I just went on Blinkit and the order came in 5 minutes and it was 99 rupees cheaper.
Wow.
Right. So that's how I think quick
Yeah.
commerce is like making us like used to getting products in 5 to 10 minutes.
No, it's a genuinely consumer habit has got shaped, right?
Yeah.
That's the most powerful thing you can do. You
Yeah.
get the consumer hooked.
Yeah.
And the economics are also, more or less stacking up for at least one of the players, right?
Yeah.
So then that means you can scale this.
Yeah.
Then it's
Correct.
it's totally scalable.
Correct. So like
Yeah.
you don't see going offline on the trajectory like.
No, we will certainly go offline.
Yeah.
We will open about 100 hypermarkets this year. In terms of when I say we will open, I mean we will supply to 100
Yeah.
hypers this year.
Modern trade essentially.
Yes, because we think it's still a modern trade product at this point in time. But it will still be a small component of our revenues because the tailwinds are very high. And when the tide is not flowing,
Yeah.
it's different. But
Yeah.
when it is,
Yeah.
you should enjoy it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what would be the scale of your business currently, right? Like कितना revenue होगा, कितने customers होंगे, how fast are you growing?
Right.
And जैसे जो channel split है,
Right.
like between quick commerce, I think आप लोग quick commerce पे भी आप हुई, I saw
Yes.
this ad which
Yes.
featured you get your products in 10 minutes, but quick commerce and marketplace and then website की उसमें क्या split होगा?
Yeah, so a lot of questions you have asked me, Karan. So we are north of 3.5 crores
Per month.
per month at this point in time.
Congratulations. That's like amazing kind of business to be built in, I think just under 3 years.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years ho gaye. And we do anywhere between 1600 to 1800, 1900 orders a day. These orders, you see, a little bit difficult for me to compute customers because, for example, I count a unit as an order because I don't know how a basket is built on a Blinkit or a Zepto or an Instamart or a Big Basket, right? I only know my own website cart building behavior. So it's difficult for me to put a customer number to it. But that's the kind of order flow that we have. And website is a reasonable component for us. For us, website and Amazon are just shades apart, So both are roughly about 35%, 35%.
Got
And a big chunk of the remaining is quick commerce with a very, splattered long tail on specialty platforms, which could either be specializing in organic products or specializing in a certain kind of, home care or whatever. But
you're listed across all.
So now we are. We are now listed. The last one to go live. So we started our journey with Instamart from a quick commerce perspective. And then we listed on Blinkit, and then more recently we got listed on Zepto, and now it's about the basics of quick commerce, which we are also learning. They are different from the basics of scaling on a marketplace. It's a slightly different playbook, and every brand will have a different journey and a different playbook.
Interesting. जैसे आपने बताया कि around 700 orders Amazon, Flipkart, मतलब marketplaces से आते हैं, and about 500-600 orders on a day-to-day basis come from quick commerce platforms.
Right.
तो अगर एक founder को इन दोनों platforms पे scale करना है, तो according to you, like what are the differences between these two platforms? Like how
Right.
would one go about scaling on a marketplace versus like on quick commerce today?
पहले तो मैं उससे भी एक स्टेप पीछे जाती हूँ, राइट? हर प्लेटफॉर्म की डिफरेंट स्ट्रेंथ्स हैं और टाइमिंग अलग होता है इन सब का, राइट? तो आप जब लॉन्च करोगे तो सबसे पहले आपकी वेबसाइट टिपिकली लाइव जाएगी. Amazon को सप्लाई करना.
And you recommend this still to a founder कि सबसे पहले अपनी वेबसाइट पे ही शुरू करो, like founders can also start on marketplaces?
No, I think definitely. I think website and marketplaces are like 2 weeks apart, because it's only the effort is आपको वहाँ पे listings create करनी पड़ेंगी, उसके processes होते हैं, आपको अगर आप FBA booking कर रहे हो तो again आपको appointment लेना पड़ता है, तो उसके पास processes होते हैं.
आज के डेट में Shopify website start करना it's so easy.
It's so easy, right? So
there's no reason not to do that.
Correct. So I think आपकी website will always predate आपका marketplace journey, but marketplace journey will come very very soon. And these are very democratic, these are very self-serve type tools. तो आप जल्दी से जल्दी marketplaces पे आ जाओगे और marketplaces में कोई restrictions नहीं है ना. There is no gatekeeper to say कि I will not take your product. They will list everything.
Unlike quick commerce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why I was coming to it. And then quick commerce, it is not about you getting listed on quick commerce has to want you as well, right? So they have a fixed inventory model, and they have only limited amount of dark stores and limited amount of space in those stores.
So if they're taking you, there is another brand which they are kind of taking off, right? Because
I mean, I don't know if they're taking off, but possibly so, because today the dark stores should be full, right? So there's definitely, you cannot get all your SKUs listed. Also on day one, why will quick commerce take you? There should be an inherent set of people searching for your brand on those platforms, right? And they are very search-driven platforms. Look at your own behavior there. And then you're throwing up in these null searches, and then they're like, okay, this brand makes sense, right? And then, of course, you know, you have to be at the right place and, you know, pitching at the same time. So there is a sequencing involved, but also I feel there's different SKUs involved, right? आज की डेट में हमारे वेबसाइट से ज़्यादा आई एम एबल टू पुश माई लार्जर पैक्स, राइट, लाइक माई 5 लीटर पैक्स.
तो आपका एवरेज सेलिंग प्राइस ज़्यादा होगा आपकी वेबसाइट पे?
सेलिंग प्राइस नहीं, मैं AOV इज हायर, बट जो SKU मैं वेबसाइट से मूव करा सकती हूँ, the mix is different, right?
Got it.
They are bulkier, they are more combo driven, you know, and therefore people who've come in for the hottest deal, but they don't mind waiting a few days for delivery. The Amazon cohort is the more sort of next day and 1 to 2 day, 1 to 3 day kind of delivery cohort.
More price conscious.
They are more price conscious. And then there is, you know, the quick commerce cohort, which will always have the least amount of SKUs. So if I have 30 plus SKUs, I may have only 8 listed.
Your best sellers.
You'll have your bestsellers, also the price points, right? So because this is still a, I mean, I won't say it's impulse, because there is some cart building which is happening in quick commerce also, but at the same time, it is way less than an Amazon, right? So the cart building behavior is way less. So you will certainly have to give them products which are in a average selling price, which is very palatable to top up, you know? So if you have a 100 rupee product or a 200 rupee product or a 300 rupee product, it's amazing for quick commerce. On Amazon,
there's this trend of sachetization as well, right? So like smaller sachets or maybe like smaller packs which go on quick commerce.
Correct, right? And on Amazon, you would possibly have the sort of the midpoint, you know, which could be for me like my 2 liter refills, right? On my own website, I'd probably make a larger push for the 5 liters and the combos. So over time, you will see that different SKUs in different marketplaces, that's the only way to operate, you know. Otherwise, the complexity of pricing, matching your pricing, it's very hard.
So basically, आपका SKU mix अलग है across all platforms. And have you also seen this कि once people have ordered once on your website, maybe on quick commerce or you know on a marketplace, then they'll go for the larger packs on your website?
We have no way of tracking that, right? I cannot attribute that new user.
Because आपकी website पे तो वो new user ही है.
Yeah, for me that's a new user. But the other attribution we do see. You know, so for example, you can ask people that typically you will have discovered the person will have discovered and done the first purchase on the website. Maybe, like you said about your trimmer earlier, that you have discovered Koparo, but you didn't like the delivery timeline, so you're going on to Amazon, you know. So we are seeing some of these things happen. Strong attribution you can't do. You simply can't do because you get no data from the other side.
I think जैसे we used to ask these questions like retention rate आपका कितना है and you know like maybe even LTV कितना है. So I think those metrics now in an omni-channel world are becoming very difficult to track. आप कैसे अपना retention track कर पाओगे? Because शायद discovery आपकी वेबसाइट से हो रही है, उसके बाद multiple orders दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म से आ रहे हैं. So like there is no way for you. So your LTVs might be lower, you know, in that case, or maybe your retention rates may be lower, but actually it's the same consumer which is buying across multiple platforms.
Definitely is, right? Otherwise, who will just buy me and discover me on a quick commerce platform? Those are not platforms for you to brand and build searches on, right? You are only responding to a customer query over there. So definitely that happens. Yet there will always be some investor who will want you to calculate it. And then you can choose to calculate it or not calculate it. But in general, I think the North Star over here would be to say that, is your marketing ROI improving? Because if genuinely your repeats are high, then you should at the very least see a positive trajectory.
कि अगर आप एक जगह जैसे आप मेटा एड्स पे X spend कर रहे हो तो eventually आपका revenue बढ़ रहा है या नहीं बढ़ रहा है
at a business level.
At a business level.
Correct, right? So that should happen, right? And that's the only way you can make sense of this off-platform spillover. And that's difficult to do, but if you do look at your quarter-wise numbers, you will see that. You will see, you know, some kind of a positive movement on your ROI. If you are not, then maybe you're overspending somewhere and you cut back somewhere. Because often also what happens is that when you overspend, basically your organic turns into inorganic. But you know, the revenue just stays capped.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, I think आपने दो बड़ी interesting चीजें बोली. एक तो like obviously I am at Meta, right? So like what I've seen is that like as you spend more on Meta ads, like these are non-compounding platforms. Like the more you'll spend, the your ROAS would be lower. But अगर आपका business level पे आपका marketing efficiency बढ़ रहा है, that means that कहीं ना कहीं आपके repeats बढ़ रहे हैं अक्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म. और दूसरा बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है, लाइक यू नो लाइक आई मीट अ लॉट ऑफ यंग फाउंडर्स. वो मुझसे पूछते हैं यार हमें जेप्टो पे लिस्ट करना है, ब्लिंकिट पे लिस्ट करना है, इंस्टामार्ट पे लिस्ट करना है, हो ही नहीं रहा. लाइक दे आर काइंड ऑफ रीचिंग आउट टू कैटेगरी मैनेजर्स ऑन लिंक्डइन, कोई रिप्लाई नहीं कर रहा. एंड वन ऑफ द वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग दैट यू सेड इज दे लुक एट द नंबर ऑफ नल सर्चेस. मतलब कि वो देख रहे हैं कि कितने लोग हैं जो ब्लिंकिट पे जाके आपका ब्रांड सर्च कर रहे हैं, और ब्रांड अगर नहीं मिल रहा, मतलब उनके लिए एक प्रूफ पॉइंट है कि यू नो दिस प्रोडक्ट नीड्स टू बी देयर. सो अगर आपको वो करना है तो मे बी यू फर्स्ट स्टार्ट विद योर D2C, invest a little bit in your brand, in your marketing, then essentially go to marketplaces, build your reviews, ratings, rankings, and then essentially when people start searching your brand on these quick commerce platforms, is that's the kind of right time to.
See, what is the Zepto or Blinkit or Instamart and brand relationship? It's a classical B2B sales relationship. So it will have a very long conversion cycle. You begin by getting to know the people, telling them about your brand, leaving the samples, right?
Sitting outside their office.
I think, and I think it's real, right? They have those business constraints, right? And of course, everybody would like to get listed. And then you keep working at it. At some point, the metrics will make sense. And that will actually be the right time to start.
To reach out as well.
Yes.
Interesting. Great. Chalo, I think we'll talk more about you know the business. You know, I would also love to talk about your D2C journey, because you know I personally learned a lot from you. But you know, first I would love to kind of address the elephant in the room, which is you know your Shark Tank experience. Right, so we talked about 15 minutes on national TV equal to 15 crore of you know publicity for a startup. But and you said that you know like हमारा revenues like grew about 6x after Shark Tank. Now it's sustained at 3x. तो I think सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन तो ये like कि अगर कोई फाउंडर आज Shark Tank पे अप्लाई कर रहा है, right, और let's say they get selected और उनका एपिसोड एयर होने वाला है, so what are 3-4 things they can do to make sure that they leverage and get the you know maximum benefit you know from this publicity?
Yeah, I think you know एक तो आपका it's like the process is long. So एक तो you should be prepared that you know what you see on air is 15 minutes. Now behind that is like there is an application on a platform which I think is the Sony OTT website. You know.
आप लोगों ने कब अप्लाई किया था?
मुझे ये याद नहीं आ रहा एग्जैक्टली कब अप्लाई किया था, बट जुलाई टाइप में किया होगा
या जून जुलाई,
हाँ ऐसे मे बी जून में किया होगा, राइट. सो एक तो होता है एप्लीकेशन, राइट, उसमें भी आप कुछ अपनी कंपनी का डेटा, समथिंग अबाउट यू गिव, राइट. उसके बाद वो बोलते हैं एक वीडियो अपलोड करो, एंड दे गिव यू सर्टन यू नो क्वेश्चंस की ये आंसर होने चाहिए, एंड यू नो यू शुड बी इन अ वेल लिट बैकग्राउंड एंड यू आर स्पीकिंग टू द कैमरा. तो फिर आप ये वीडियो अपलोड करोगे, व्हिच इज अगेन लाइक अ मिनी सॉर्ट ऑफ ऑडिशन, यू नो. तो वो करते हो. उसके बाद दे कम फॉर एक्चुअल इन पर्सन ऑडिशन इन विच आप या जैसे हमारा दिल्ली में हुआ था, किसी और का कहीं और हो सकता है, where you will meet people from their production team, and the idea is to gauge you know obviously whether you should be called for what they then call the final round, you know, which is the round which then happens in Bombay in the studio and everything. So it is a multi-stage process. Watch out for the dates, like you would do for any competitive exam, right? Give it your all, you know. You're not too big to be writing out, you know, pitches and rewriting the pitches, then submitting one video, then maybe being told कि नहीं ये clear नहीं था, एक second video submit करो. It's a process where you have to be humble, you have to be patient, you have to be persistent, right?
As always, as being a founder,
Yes. But is it worth it? मतलब 1000% worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how do you leverage it? Like what was some of the things that you did, like post your episode airing, which kind of helped you scale and then sustain your revenue?
So you have to be prepared for a surge in traffic and a surge in sales. So this is very simple stuff, really. But at the back of it, you know, you will make sure that your CRM is firing, because everybody who visits you will not shop from you. You have enough inventory, particularly of the products which are most likely to sell out. You have enough inventory lying, let's say, in the dark stores of a Blinkit, if you're listed there, you should have
enough. So you'll increase your POs and all with them. Maybe
yes,
you'll give them a notification that we're about to get listed.
Yeah. Exactly. We are going to about to be aired. These are the dates. You know, and then you'll of course also have to, you know, work with your channel partners at Amazon. You should obviously work with your current warehouse partners who will be processing your website orders, right? They may need to align certain shifts for you, you know, specifically for you.
Interesting.
At the very least, it sounds very simple, but for example, you know, the table space where the packing happens, it had to be increased for Koparo, right? So you have to go in and have that conversation that, you know, on this day, we will need so many tables. Then we'll judge that, you know, how many tables do we need after that.
Were you guys packing orders on the day your episode was aired?
So no, we were not packing the orders. The warehouse team was packing the orders. But you know, the airing happens at closer to 10 p.m. So no, the packing happens the next day. I think that's just something that people like to say. But you're not packing that night.
Got it. And you know, like what happens inside the tank, because like, you know, you're there in the tank for 1.5 to 2 hours. And maybe like the episode is for 15 minutes, right? So like, what are some of the discussions, interactions, you know, that happen? Like, what are some of the things? आपके हिसाब से like वो क्या judge करते हैं? Like to look at the business, how good the business is, to look at the founder. Like, what worked for you?
So yes, it is 1.5 hours, the pitch typically. That was my pitch as well. And the cut is 17 minutes, more or less, for everybody. And that, you know, I think what they judge is, it's very conversational. So there is no cut in it. So it is one camera rolling. And you are alone.
And 10 cameras, you know, recording as well.
But you know, like I'm talking to you and there are cameras here and we don't know because we're having an engaging conversation. So that bit is not intimidating, but you can't get out of the tank for anything. You have to be in there for it. Like you are allowed a water break in the middle. But you cannot, and the water is kept there. But you cannot leave there. If you would like to discuss the contours of your deal, so they have this little VC room at the back, you know, where the person who you want to talk to, like your lifeline, is there, and you just have to open the iPad or the laptop, whatever they provide, and that's when you can actually ask, you know, if you want to run the math on some numbers or you want to seek approval or whatever, right? But otherwise, only founders stroke co-founders are allowed to be in the tank.
Got it.
Right? So I think conversationally, what are they judging? Exactly what any investor would judge, right? It's hard-earned money at the end of the day. They want to know about your category. They want to know about, you know, what is your company. They want to know your metrics. And most importantly, they want to get to know the founder to that level, you know, where they feel confident, right? And I think particularly at early stages, which is when most startups end up going to Shark Tank, right? It's increasingly a founder bet. So I think, you know, that is important. And 1.5 hours is a good enough time to judge. Of course, all of this is followed by a duty, you know.
So which in your case is going on right now?
So we're just about signing now.
Got it. And like in your episode, right, like ऐसी कुछ चीजें हुई थी जो maybe like tank में show नहीं करी, like eventually in the, but happened, you know, in those 1.5 hours. कुछ ऐसा interesting.
You know, they did great justice, you know, to be very honest, to the episode. I loved the 17 minutes that they did cut. But one really funny thing happened. So Ritesh was new, right? He's a new judge. So, you know, I had taken the checks, I had, you know, clicked the picture and all. And I walked off because I thought I've taken my picture and I'm walking off. And then he called back saying that no, you need to come back, because he wanted to make, you know, a certain proposition saying that you can come in and talk to us, and, you know, we can consider doing a deal together for Oyo Rooms.
That was a business proposition.
Exactly, right? So I didn't wait. As you saw in that last segment, I was in a tearing hurry. So I was out. Right? So I don't know if you saw this, and obviously you wouldn't have, but we noticed it because we were magnifying everything. Is that in the promo also, in the promo which they released, I'm holding the checks and talking. Because I'd already got the checks, which frankly shouldn't have happened, right? Because they have not aired the episode, right? So it was hilarious because they were calling me and saying you cannot mention to anybody about these checks, and I'm like, आपने तो TV पे डाल दिया है, you know. So
interesting. But I think like you decided not to listen to Ritesh and Piyush का offer as well, right? Like why was that? Like did you like think कि like you had certain perception कि मुझे इन्हीं sharks से funding लेनी है?
I did actually, you know, and it's a part of the process. Just to tell you that, you know, you are asked who are your sort of dream sharks and what is the valuation that you know you are expecting and so on, which of course you vocalize.
And you know also कि कौन से sharks आपके episode में होंगे?
No.
Okay.
You only get to know that when you get to Bombay. So you get to Bombay about 2 days before, and then they help you prep a bit. You know, they take you in to see the studio. They tell you where to stand. They tell you where to look. They tell you how to walk. You don't crosswalk, right? So they do the basics, right? And then they do also a little bit of business prep. Ki these are the sort of hot questions. तो ये तो मतलब सीख ही लो types, you know, रात को. And they also help you revise the first minute, that pitch, the first minute and a half pitch, right?
Because वो revise होता है पूरा change ही हो जाता है.
वो पूरा change होता है, but it's made better.
Yeah, correct.
So you know आप जितना भी कर लो ना.
Eventually it's an entertainment show, right? So these guys know कि TV पे like how to project your brand well.
So it's very useful. You know, मुझे अगर वहाँ पे किसी वो उस writer का number मिले तो I would just, you know, I'm kicking myself कि मैंने why didn't I, you know, he was amazing, he was magical. Yeah.
मेरी इस बार like from my investment portfolio I had 14 companies, you know, which were on Shark Tank this year.
Wow.
And you know like obviously like चलो good return on investment तो हुआ ही, but essentially like a lot of them said कि Shark Tank और सोनी का जो team था they were kind of उनका इंटेंशन ही ये था कि that they wanted to make you win, right? So like they wanted to put your business in the best positive light. So like अगर तुम्हें कभी कभी लग भी रहा है कि यार ये हमारा pitch क्यों change कर रहे हैं, it is
just go with it.
Yeah, it's for the better.
Correct.
Amazing. And आपने बताया कि कुछ ऐसे questions हैं जो सीख ही लो, वो ऐसे क्या questions होते हैं I think which a founder should be prepared for?
So you know, simple questions हैं जो exactly आप भी देखोगे when you are doing an investment, right? I have even done one LinkedIn post about it, so I'll certainly reference it in this conversation. But it's stuff about your industry, the size, you know, what is your USP, you know, why are you doing this business, why are you doing it today, a lot about your business, you know, what are the metrics, what's your revenue for this month, last month, the month before that, what will you close this month at, your margin structures, you know, for sure. How much cash you have, how much cash you're burning, why have you come to Shark Tank, what will you do with this money? So I think the questions are exactly what any investor would ask. But what also happens is that all pitches are not equal. There are people who are coming from backgrounds which understand business because they have either been to a business school or they've just pitched enough to investors. There are also people who are coming from bootstrap businesses.
From tier 2, tier 3 cities.
And absolutely. So I think what it does is it helps you bring everybody to a level playing field, right? Because then you get that 1 day, 2 days to sit and prepare all the correct answers. Because you may know it. Everybody knows it.
Correct.
But you will not be, you know, pat articulate, which is what they're helping you do, you know.
Interesting. And आपके case में, like, what do you think, like in retrospect, like worked well for you, you know, like to help you secure, you know, a deal from Vinita Aman?
I think preparation, you know, it's very important to prepare. It's important to know, you know, what are you going to show, what are you going to say about your products. You should role play in your head. It's the most powerful tool of preparation, right? Saying that I'm a shark, and look at it, right? You have videos of all their episodes, right? Totally available for free on YouTube, right? Just understand, you know, what are the kind of questions that are coming and what is likely to come.
Go through the sharks' profiles as well, like this type, like what are some of the things they're interested in, what are some of the questions they ask, you know, they relate with.
So I mean, in current, you know, there's no substitute to hard work and prep. If you're 100% prepared, you will 100% seal it.
Amazing.
And
like, what would be your advice, you know, to founders who are now looking to apply for Shark Tank India season 4? Like what would you say to them? Like, if, you know, they're looking at like how, like what should be the reasons you should be applying at? What should be the stage you should apply?
I think, you know, it's a mixed bag. There are people from all kinds of profiles at all stages of business, right? So I don't think stage is sort of a cut that I can make, right? all I'll say is it's a long process. Be in it. If you're able to follow through with it, even those 3-4 days in Bombay are exhausting. You know, because you don't see sunlight.
Correct.
And you don't know कि कब मेरा time आएगा.
And like a lot of us would be like first time in a professional, studio kind of a setup.
Right. So it's a lot. It's a big commitment. It's worth it. Firstly, brace yourself that it's going to be a long journey. I will have a different set of advice once you have been, once your shooting has happened. So pre-shooting, my only advice is prepare. Right? And post shooting, my advice is plan. You know, how much ever you can plan your inventory, how much ever you can plan that surge, right? And have all your tools firing to capture not just the hot leads, but the cold leads, the warm leads. Your remarketing loop should kick in. It's just gold, right?
Yeah. I mean, so much traffic to your website, like which you can never buy from performance marketing, from any other. So like leverage it to the best possible ability. I think great. And आपको like पता होता है कि आपका episode अब air होने वाला है? Like do they kind of tell you that these are the dates that your episode would be aired? या फिर ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपका episode ना air हो and you've kind of done a lot of this preparation?
ऐसा भी हो सकता है. So I think that's always a risk. But बताते हैं, but they really do tell you with very short notice.
Got it.
It could be a week's notice. It could be 2 days' notice. There is some notice which is provided. But you have to be stocked up and ready, and the episode, and I think the show airs for 12 weeks or 10 weeks, something like that. So you see, there's a very big difference between the first week and the 10th week.
Correct.
And so you'll be sitting with all that. No, but you'll be also sitting with all that inventory. Right.
So I think that's a bet that you take.
Yeah.
Great. I think I'll move to the next segment, which is like I would love to kind of understand from you on how you kind of scaled your website in the initial days, because I know that you did a session for us at Accelerate as well. You mentored a lot of our cohort startups, and एक consistent feedback जो मुझे मिला था कि oh my god जितना सिमरन ने like methodically इसको manage किया है, like the kind of trackers you have, the kind of insights you have, आपका पूरा tech stack. Founders were saying कि हमें शायद इसका 5% भी ना पता हो, and like these are founders.
I'm so happy that they're learning this, right?
Yeah. And they're founders who are doing 3, 4, 5 crore per year का business, right? So I think my first question कि अगर and purely from a website D2C perspective, because जैसे हमने बताया कि हम channels को भी sequence करते हैं, this is the first kind of channel where you scale at, right? So ऐसी क्या 3-4 चीजें हैं as a D2C founder which you must be doing in the initial days to kind of start scaling your website?
So I think ek to before you start spending money, right? I think I said it in the session as well, right? You must fix your attribution. You should know, is your attribution rock solid? Attribution मतलब जैसे कि अगर आप मेटा पे एक ad चला रहे हो, तो उस ad से ये customer आ रहा है और वो कितना AOV दे रहा है और कहाँ से वो customer आ रहा है, right? And then you must fix that. That is very, very important. Otherwise you don't know what you're scaling.
और ये सब कुछ आप Shopify वगैरह पे आराम से कर सकते हो, like
आप कर सकते हो, एकदम आराम से भी नहीं कर सकते हो, because जो पहली आप feed जो product feed जो push होती है, कई बार attribution links वहाँ पे accurate नहीं होते हैं, तो आपको उसमें थोड़ा time spend करना पड़ेगा with a developer to do this. But हम एक बहुत बड़ी gig economy है, there are people who help you do this attribution tag. There's somebody for this, somebody for that. There is somebody for everybody, every process.
हम Accelerate में 2 type of companies में invest करते हैं, consumer brands और consumer brand enablers. और enablers like as you said, हर field में आज एक enabler है for a D2C brand.
So I would say don't think कि ये 20,000 में नहीं खर्चती हूँ, अरे ये तो हम खुद ही कर लेंगे, वो नहीं होगा आपसे. अगर होगा great, but once you test and it's broken, spend that money and get that fixed. I think that's one. Second, make sure you have good sort of paid speed, right, and good sort of checkout experiences, because आपको ultimately land कराना ही नहीं है ना, आपको conversion भी चाहिए, and उसके पीछे मतलब काफी science है, तो उसको जानो और उसको समझो कि कहाँ drop off होते हैं और क्यों होते हैं,
I think आप किस तरह काम भी करते थे ना, like
so we work with Shopflow. The other players in the market is GoQuick. There's also like a magic checkout of Razorpay. So you figure out what works for you. What are the cost structures, etc. But definitely do spend time on the conversion funnel and spend time on attribution before you actually start spending money, right? दूसरी चीज़ I would say कि definitely कोई CRM को समझो. I will not say कि this is better than that. Like we use Contlo and we're kind of happy.
Sorry, which one?
We use Contlo.
Okay.
Right, and so you know, you will figure out your customer channel, which one is working better for you. Is it SMS? Is it email? Is it WhatsApp?
Yeah.
But you will figure that out,
Yeah.
and you know, each will have a different role.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and you can't overdo it on either.
Yeah.
Right.
And I also feel that, you know, like a lot of times founders have this preconceived notion कि इंडिया में ईमेल नहीं चलता, इंडिया में SMS नहीं चलता, राइट? बट या फिर WhatsApp चलता है, WhatsApp नहीं चलता. आपको सब ट्राई करना चाहिए, राइट? लाइक हमारे केस में ज़ोई में लाइक वी डिड ओवर 50 करोड़ रेवेन्यू, राइट, विद 30% एबिटा, राइट? और हमारे केस में लाइक वी वुड डू ईमेल्स, व्हाट्सएप, बट SMS यूज्ड टू वर्क द बेस्ट फॉर अस, राइट? सो सबका कस्टमर बिहेवियर डिफरेंट होता है, सो बी प्रेजेंट on all platforms,
yes.
rather than saying
and you know,
कि ये
and
करेगा नहीं
measure
करेगा.
and track.
Yes.
Right, you've got to see that when you send one email to the whole base, what happens. When you segment it, what happens. If you send 3 in a month versus 14 in a month, what happens.
Correct.
Till you're not tracking that. And what kind of emails you sent, like text plus image. What was it? It was only text. You've got to figure out what is getting you the open rates, what is getting you the clicks.
और इस सब का एक simple tracker बना के where you have all of this data
आपको ये तो डेली ट्रैक करना चाहिए. पर्सनली आई फील वही तो काम है, यू नो, यही तो ट्रैक करना है. सो ये तो डेली ट्रैक होना चाहिए कि आप जो टूल्स एम्प्लॉय कर रहे हो, जो चैनल्स यूज कर रहे हो, एंड नन ऑफ दिस इज फ्री, राइट? आप ईमेल में भी पैसे लग रहे हैं, आपके SMS में भी लग रहे हैं, नन ऑफ दिस इज फ्री. सो द आइडिया दैट यू नो, सेट अप द लूप्स एंड फॉरगेट अबाउट इट is inaccurate. You know,
figure out what is the most effective loop for you, like figure out what is working and try to kind of scale that.
And you know, what is working at a certain scale is different. What is working after a certain scale will also be different. Like now we've just done a bunch of changes on our retention loops, you know,
जैसे क्या?
So for example, you know, the frequency of our emails, we've had to change it right now because we actually got a lot of customers with Shark Tank, right?
And
we got a lot of
emails.
So there was a lot of drop. So now we make sure that we're segmenting much finer, you know, when we send the email out. Otherwise, all that will happen is your email bill will balloon, but your revenues will not increase.
General query हो सकती है, कुछ about something else हो जाता है, could be add to cart but drop out, could just be landing page view. So you kind of segment it basis that, basis की कौन से product को किया, time कितना है, कितने दिन हुए.
Correct. And you may start a different, like now we have new SKUs. We've just launched pouches. So I need to introduce some replenishment loops, you know, which I didn't have previously. So you've got to also change with your business, your scale and the kind of SKUs you have. And costs change. So if a certain channel like WhatsApp has just become more expensive, if a certain channel becomes more expensive, you will then again optimize a bit, right? But you've got to be on top of that stuff.
And I also feel कि अगर आप multiple channels explore करते हो, loops explore करते हो, so it kind of reduces your dependency on just one platform.
Very
so that
true.
कल अगर कोई
there's a big outage,
या फिर कोई cost बढ़ता है तो you at least have other channels to kind of you know, grow on. So you know, so in terms of you know, just your tech stack, अगर you know, like please give us some secret sauce कि कौन से वो 6-7 टूल्स हैं जो आप, चाहे वो कोई और यूज़ ना करे, बट आपके केस में दे हैव रियली वर्क वेल फॉर यू, एंड यू नो, लाइक चाहे आपका कन्वर्जन हो, चाहे आपका लैंडिंग पेज ऑप्टिमाइजेशन हो, चाहे आपका SMS, WhatsApp, रिटेंशन मार्केटिंग हो, email marketing हो, आपने क्या क्या यूज़ कर रहे हैं which have kind of really worked well for you?
So what we are using, and some of these, you know, you will be well aware of, and I'm sure you know, may even be a part of your cohort. We use Shopify for the website. For our checkout, we use Shopflow, and we're very satisfied. We use you know, Easy Ecom in terms of our inventory management and order processing.
They'll do the deliveries and all.
So the actual deliveries happen, then we have direct tie-ups with delivery and express fees.
Okay.
And depending on your product, you will figure out the correct person for your third party, you know, because it depends on the bulk. It depends on what kind of deliveries you're seeking. Like we have liquids, so it can't go by air. So you know, there are nuances. You know, there are nuances to this. Then in terms of CRM, as I told you, we use Contlo. For you know, WhatsApp, we use Business on Bot. For some kind of customer service, which is like an IVRS, we use Contacto. So your business, you will figure it out. Landing pages, I think I missed out. You know, so Shopify has some that you can make. There are some apps which are associated with them where you can make better landing pages. You must invest in landing pages. That is something that I missed talking about in the whole scale up. But
so
you
landing
need
pages
landing
में invest
pages.
मतलब like external, like work with an agency and all to optimize या फिर
So you firstly must think about your landing page. Your landing page cannot just be the product page. You know, your landing page is you've done the hard work. You've got the click. You know, in a cluttered digital environment, right?
तुमने 10-15 रुपए लगा के उस कस्टमर को अपनी वेबसाइट पे तुम ले आए हो and they are reviewing your website now.
Yeah. Now you're at the product page. Now you need purchase to happen.
Yeah.
And that is your landing page, right? Why should somebody buy that product? There are a lot of sort of, you know, rules around these things, science and art, which has got built, you know, in terms of how you, where you place the price, where you place the upsell offer, where you place the customer testimonial, where you just give them the confidence that we're not a fly-by-night sort of, you know, player. Your money
Social
is secure
proofing
with
and
us.
all,
So there's a lot of science behind this today. You must leverage that science, right? Because at the very least, it's not going to, it's only going to improve your conversion rate. Whether it does it by 0.1 or it does it by 2 to 3%, I don't know. But 0.1 तो होगा ना, तो वो तो करना चाहिए.
आपको खाली ये नहीं सोचना कि मैंने एक अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बना लिया तो अब बिक ही जाएगा, कोई वेबसाइट पे आ रहा है, मतलब उसको भी आप हमेशा ऑप्टिमाइज कर सकते हो, चाहे 1% से 2% से, बाय यूजिंग अ लॉट ऑफ दिस साइंस.
Absolutely, yeah.
Interesting. And you know, like any agencies that you know you recommend, you know, either for packaging, या फिर for brand identity, brand design, या फिर for landing page optimization that you know you feel have really benefited you, or you know you work with as partners?
So we haven't yet worked with this agency, but we are talking to them, and I feel their work is very interesting. So it's a shout out to them. It's Beyond Ads, and they have a team which optimizes some landing pages.
Oh, interesting. So they only do landing pages?
No, they also do ads and they also do marketplace management, but this is one part of their sort of journey. So definitely I feel, and there will be more like this. And like I said, now it's a science. You know, it's an art and a science. You will know what's right for your product, so you'll pick and choose. And you know, that's something that you should do, whether you do it with this agency or some other agency, or you do it yourself, because there are a lot of tools, and some people are better, you know, between a Figma and you know, certain bolt-ons on Shopify, they're able to build their own landing pages, and you should, you know. But what I mean to say is, just don't let it be.
उसको experiment करो, A/B test करते रहो. Always, there's a science to it, as you said. उसको optimize करो.
So that is one, and I'm forgetting, Karan, what was your other question?
Like any agency जो आपने brand के लिए काम किया हो,
brand and packaging,
packaging के लिए काम किया हो.
So you know, we have not worked with an agency.
सारा in-house करते हो आप लोग?
Yes. So we only worked on brand and packaging on our own with a freelance sort of designer and her team. And she's
Does
awesome.
it make a difference, like if you kind of work with the larger agencies, like do you think like it makes your brand different or stand out better as compared to other brands, या फिर like product is the king and eventually and the way you sell it?
I think your brand and your packaging does matter, and matters a lot. But can you throw more money to improve it? I'm not so sure. And I know the world is divided on this. Because I'm also often told ki get an agency, get an agency. I just feel that where should I be spending a limited amount of money today? And some of these agencies, you know, they cost a bomb. Right? And I think in the early days, it is more important to have an MVP and get feedback, get reaction, and improve and improve. You know, who wouldn't want to work with an amazing designer and a great set of, you know, people? But it costs money, and I would rather spend that money on you know, customer acquisition today. And we'll figure out the packaging, right? I mean, no company should wait, I feel, you know, to land the perfect brand and packaging, because there is no such thing.
And product side pe, like, do you work with some, like, product development obviously is very key for you as well, and like you have a differentiated product, तो उसके लिए भी आप किसी के साथ काम करते हो? Okay.
So we work with an external sort of, you know, lab and you know, a team of sort of chemists who understand home care science, right? Because it's a science at the end of the day. And we work with them on and off to either improve what we have or to develop a fresh.
I think that is an area where you certainly need expertise on, especially if you're not from that product core background, right? So that's like a valuable investment.
That you have to do, and you must do. You know, in a world where you can go and buy your formulas from the factory, don't do it.
So मतलब अपना खुद का formulations बनाओ, like have that science. And फिर, like, do you like IP the formulations with those factories, or like anybody can also use your formulation?
No, if you have paid for the formulation,
Got
then
it.
that is your IP.
Got it.
And that is your IP, right? You could take it to the next level and you could have some kind of non-competes. They may not agree, depends on the lab and depends on how hot the market is. But you certainly, that's your IP.
Got it. Got it. आपके 0 to 1 journey, let's say the first 2 years, right? Now you're doing about 40 crores a year, but let's say first year 5 crores, 15 crores, right? Like first 2 years. उस journey में आपका team structure क्या था in terms of your entire team, like who was managing what? And अगर एक founder आज start कर रहे हैं तो ऐसे क्या लोग होने चाहिए जो they should definitely hire?
So it was, I mean, starting it was me and one person, you know, and then we added on as we, you know, had more complexity, we had more scale. And I think my advice here is that you should keep your team lean, you know. It's very important to not get carried away and build a lot of overhead. I think it slows you down, but it increases your burn. Those are the two very obvious things. But I also feel it takes away from, you know, D2C energy. And I think D2C energy is what makes this whole thing exciting, you know, the fact that you know, you get into a room, there's 2 decision makers. It'll just be faster, you know. I think you shouldn't do super expensive hires in the first couple of years, at least, you know, in our case, even in the first 3 years, you know, and keep the team lean, keep them empowered, you know. Speak to as many experts as you can. I have been amazed, Karan, in my journey as to how helpful people are and want to be. You know, I'm amazed. लोग शेयर करना चाहते हैं. Look, remember our first conversation? You were like,
I was pinging you कि मुझे Facebook ads में आपका help
करना है, right? And I'm like, ये Facebook का है बंदा यार, वो मुझे ping कर रहा है कि उसको help करना है, right? So I think people are really willing to help. The thing is that for me, I cannot hire you, I cannot afford you, but I can ping you and I can, you know, get your expertise.
Take expertise and just shorten the feedback loop.
It shortens the feedback loop when all the platforms are self-serve. Then you go do it on your own and build that internal muscle. You know. So I think being lean and being overhead light is my big advice, you know, you know, in your journey. Because also what you would hate to do, right, is to have a team of 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, and then let's say things aren't working out, and you need to do a big pivot. Then look at the emotional pain of having to churn those people.
No, I think very valuable advice. I think I would also love to get your insights on metrics क्या ट्रैक करने चाहिए एटलीस्ट यू नो फॉर एन अर्ली स्टेज फाउंडर राइट. लाइक जैसे अगर मैं अपना केस बताऊँ जोई का, राइट, वी आर एवरेज ऑर्डर वैल्यू वाज अराउंड 4,000 रुपीज़. आर कैक यूज्ड टू बी अराउंड 1,200 to 1,300 रुपीज़. तो हमारा ROAS was about 3x. Our gross margins was about 70%. And because हमारा प्रोडक्ट लाइट होता था तो डिलीवरी कॉस्ट एंड पैकेजिंग कॉस्ट वाज लेसर. इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग, एडवर्टाइजिंग हम सब कुछ इन हाउस ही करते थे. सो वहाँ पे हम लाइक सेव करते थे सब कुछ. मी एंड ताने यूज्ड टू डू. टीम कॉस्ट वाज वेरी लो. सो दैट मेंट लाइक अ 30% काइंड ऑफ एन EBITDA फॉर अस, राइट. आज तो थोड़ा लाइक पीपल टॉक डिफरेंटली, CM2, CM3, CM4. So like आप क्या metrics track करते हो, like in like and like if a founder is kind of building, तो 3-4 क्या metrics होने चाहिए which are important. Like for हमारे केस में हमें लगता था कि 70% gross margin से नीचे प्रोडक्ट बेचना ई-कॉमर्स में, D2C में बहुत मुश्किल है प्रॉफिटेबल. सो लाइक बट व्हाट
मैं अभी भी वही मानती हूँ. एंड आई वुड से कि अगर आपका 65% ग्रॉस मार्जिन नहीं है ना, तो बहुत मुश्किल है ऑनलाइन वर्ल्ड में. यू नो, ऑफलाइन में आई थिंक यू नो यू कैन गो अ लिटिल बिट लोअर, बट ऑनलाइन वर्ल्ड में आई थिंक दैट मच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो आई थिंक अगर आपको मेट्रिक्स ट्रैक करने तो ऑब्वियसली आपको अपना नेट रेवेन्यू ट्रैक करना चाहिए. एंड आपको अपना ग्रॉस मार्जिन यू नो एट अ पोर्टफोलियो लेवल ट्रैक करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ऐसे भी प्रोडक्ट्स होंगे जो हाई हैं और कोई लो है.
बट देन हाउ डू यू वैल्यू, लाइक हाउ डू यू बैलेंस ग्रॉस मार्जिन एंड देन यू नो लाइक जैसे आपकी कैटेगरी है विच इज आई एम अज्यूमिंग even though it's a you know like you're having better ingredients, more good for you, but still people are price conscious, right? So then how do you kind of balance that gross margin as well as offering the best price and value to a customer?
So you know, it's simple. Other people have shown the way that if your premia is about 25%, that is when the organic food movement took off. You know, anything above 25% चुभने लगता है.
अच्छा, मतलब कि FMCG लाइक फास्ट मूविंग कंज्यूमर गुड्स कैटेगरी में 25% से ऊपर ना करो?
देखो हमें सिर्फ 2 इंडस्ट्रीज हैं जिनमें प्रीमियमाइजेशन एट स्केल हुई है, एक है फूड और एक है पर्सनल केयर। आप दोनों के प्राइस पॉइंट स्टडी कर सकते हो और देख सकते हो। आप जितना वो प्रीमिया कंप्रेस कर लो द बेटर इट इज फॉर यू, बट 25% पे आप 65% ग्रॉस मार्जिन अगर लेके आ रहे हो, यू आर इन द गेम, यू आर इन द गेम। नाउ यू फिगर आउट हाउ यू गेट द 25 डाउन टू 15% प्रीमिया, एंड देन हाउ डू यू डू इट एट अ 65% ग्रॉस मार्जिन? नाउ you go figure. Then that's my problem statement, you know, as the founder of Koparo. But less than that, I think you're not in the game, right? And the other metric, of course, is your contribution margins, right? So you must know what is your order processing cost.
CM1,
Yes.
CM2, CM3,
Yeah.
CM4 में क्या डिफरेंस होता है?
Correct. So पहले आया आपका net revenue, right? फिर आपने उसमें से अपना COGS, जितने आपका returns and damages etc. You know, you remove that, and then you get like a product margin or a GM, gross margin, what people call.
That's your CM1.
That is no, that's your gross margin. That's your gross margin. That's just your gross margin. From there, you remove all the associated costs to get it to the customer, right? Which is your order processing, जो आप warehouse में दोगे,
delivery
you know,
costs.
delivery costs, including the stuff which you use to, you know, it could be delivery cost to an Amazon warehouse, it could be delivery cost to, you know, the direct customer, depending on which channel it is. And then you get something called a contribution margin, you know. CM1, right? And then from there you remove your performance marketing. Some people call that CM2, and some people then say then CM3 is CM2 minus brand, and then CM3. You know, all kinds of definitions. We saw this happen at Koparo as well, and then we just said that no, CM2. All marketing is marketing. All marketing is either brand or performance. Make up your mind what you call it, but it goes in one line.
Yeah, because आजकल तो यार definition भी इतनी change हो रही है, right? Like there's influencer marketing, there's performance, there is brand marketing. Top of the funnel में आप different कर रहे हो, right? So like all marketing is marketing, and eventually
marketing is marketing. So just bung it there, and then that's your budget. And then if you decide to spend more in that month, then you're doing it consciously, you know.
Correct.
Then you're not trying to like take some line up and down to show something, right? And that's what it is.
आपको clear picture भी मिलती है कि अगर आपका CM2 बढ़ रहा है, मतलब आपका marketing efficiency बढ़ रहा है,
correct, right? And I think ये ना एक चीज़ I will say कि I have seen the value of this, कि आप channel wise करो, right? ये
आप blended मत लो.
Blended तो आप एक तो summation करोगे, right? But at least for your top 4-5 channels, right? And you will have only 4, you know, top channels. So it's not that much effort. But आप एक channel wise P&L ज़रूर maintain करें, because you will see कि आपके CM2 फर्क हैं by channel. You know, it gives you the conviction to go and double down on a channel. You know, and that's all you need to do.
आपने बताया था कि आपका SKU split भी different, mix भी different होता है हर channel का, so इसलिए आपका CM2 भी different होगा हर channel का.
CM2 भी different होता है, आपकी marketing intensity बहुत अलग होती है हर channel में. You know, जैसे कोई commerce में आपको कम marketing करनी पड़ती है, right? Because limited.
You just have to make your product available.
Yeah, because limited SKUs हैं ना उनके अभी तक.
Correct.
So you know, you must do this at a channel level, and you know it also takes away all this illusion कि अरे Amazon is really working for me.
Yeah.
Just see it in your numbers.
Yeah, चाहे revenue है, but like is it like leading to CM2 or not?
Yeah. And you know, sometimes your investors will ask for it, sometimes they will not ask for it. You must do it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So CM2 के बाद क्या आता है? जैसे हमने सारा मार्केटिंग उसमें ले लिया तो
उसके बाद तो हम तो बस CM3 नहीं करते हैं, हम सीधा बस अपने फिक्स कॉस्ट डालते हैं उसके बाद.
Got it.
Which is your people and any rent and you know, if there are any other sort of legal fees or you know NPD fees and some of those things that are genuinely fixed costs.
Got it.
Yeah.
And you know, like in your experience, when should a founder like in the D2C consumer space raise money? Like should they raise money जब उनका initial like थोड़ा सा revenue होने लग गया? क्योंकि founders तो raise it at different levels, like बहुत pedigreed founders होते हैं, वो product बनाने से पहले ही raise करते हैं, right? कुछ लोग अपना capital डालते हैं, they take it to certain revenue, फिर scale करते हैं, फिर raise करते हैं. What according to you is the best way to kind of go about raising money?
So I think it's very personal, you know, and the reason I say this is that you know, I've seen people I really respect and admire do different things, you know. I think if you are okay to put in some of your own money and you're okay to be resource constrained significantly, because when your own money तो you're significantly resource constrained, you know that life.
Yeah, like मैं अपने केस में बताता हूँ, like हमारे केस में क्या था, like COVID आया, हमारा ARR was about 25 crores, right? Profitable,
Fab.
7-8 crore का profit.
Yeah.
COVID आया, suddenly you could not ship products, right? 3 महीने, like the business was zero, right? Suddenly then, as soon as we came back, funding came up huge, like big time in India.
Yes.
Health and wellness had a huge tailwind. So CACs increased, right? And then
That's
funded brands were doing like at a 0.8 ROAS versus we were used to a 4x ROAS. And वहाँ पे
But the money was flowing there.
हाँ, so वहाँ पे भी realized कि अगर हम शायद पैसे raise कर लेते, we could have survived and scaled our brand, which is now a learning in retrospect, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like you are resource constrained when you kind of bootstrap, so it's maybe important.
Like I said, it's a very personal choice, and like I'm not necessarily right or wrong. You know. So for me, my personal journey was that. I put in my own money. I wanted to run it for about 6 months to see am I committed to this? Am I seeing some early customer feedback which is positive enough, which makes me believe that indeed home care will premiumize, right?
और वो क्या था like how, what were your signs for you?
The signs for me were some repeats kicking in, talking to customers, you know, and getting early feedback, you know, on the products, right? I think that was the early sign. And then of course the investors came along, you know, and I think, so there's no real right answer. People do raise pre-revenue as well. They raise what they call whiteboard, you know, when you're just on the whiteboard. I think it's important to see some product in its flesh and blood. I think I would like to think that would be even fair, you know, both sides, you know. But there's no right answer. You know, there's enough people who say, no, why should I? You know, why should I put in my own capital when there is capital? And that's also totally fine.
Yeah. I think also raising money like then like essentially आप चाहे कोई भी round raise कर रहे हो, I don't know आपका experience क्या रहा है, but it requires 6 months of dedicated commitment. चाहे आपका कैसा भी background हो, you know, like I'm sure you would have also you know, heard no's from a lot of VCs. You would have had successes as well, right? So like it requires that level of commitment as well, you know, it kind of distracts you from running your business.
It does, right? And I also think that, you know, in the early days, no, it's good to just focus on the business. You know, get your amazing websites out, get the amazing landing pages done, get your product listed on marketplaces. You can put your head down and work on all that, right? Start seeing, even if it's just early numbers, just a few lakhs are coming in, right? In the month. But with conviction, you will be able to sell your story. I mean, that's my personal belief.
And I also love the fact that you said ki talk to customers. Like I think that's the biggest proof point. I think I'm telling you, right, कि I was with the Chayos का CEO recently, and he said कि यार उनके 200 stores हैं, and he said कि मैं दिन के 5 घंटे, which I felt was a lot, but he said मैं दिन के 5 घंटे खाली कस्टमर से बात करता हूँ in my cafes. तुम कभी भी गलेरिया वाले स्टोर पे आ जाओ, you will always find me interviewing customers, and he used this book as a reference called the Mom's Test. राइट सो लाइक ही सेड कि मैं कस्टमर्स को इंटरव्यू करने के लिए कभी ये नहीं पूछता कि तुम्हें चाय कैसी लगी, वो सोचा आपका दिन क्या था, सुबह आपने क्या किया, फिर उसके बाद कैसे आए, ड्राइव करके आए, यू नो, सो एसेंशियली अंडरस्टैंड उनका मूड कैसा था, और उससे मुझे ऐसे इंसाइट्स मिलते हैं विच काइंड ऑफ टेल मी कि अच्छा मेरा प्रोडक्ट अच्छा भी है या यू नो
टोटली
या नहीं है. लाइक आई मीन लाइक जस्ट ऑफ टॉपिक उन्होंने बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग इंसाइट बताया, लाइक विच एज अ फाउंडर यू माइट नेवर नो, राइट. ही सेड कि जब दो लोग डेट पे आते हैं, राइट, सो आपके अकॉर्डिंग वुड दे प्रेफर अ वार्म बेवरेज और अ कोल्ड बेवरेज, राइट, बिकॉज हम लाइक यू नो वी वर हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ लाइक डेट्स अराउंड वैलेंटाइंस डे एंड ऑल, एंड हम सोच रहे थे कि हम क्या मेन्यू में प्रमोट करें. So like according to you, like what would be the like beverage which people would prefer more on a date?
I think a cold beverage.
Why is that?
Because you sip from a straw, and it's less messy. And I think you want to project your best self.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons. But he said the biggest reason was that हमारे stores में AC constantly चलता है, so the chai gets cold in 5 minutes. A cold beverage stays like too longer, right? And then people can hang out more. And so that's why like हमने अपना menu designed towards Valentine's Day, designed towards the cold beverages side. So he said कि अब ऐसा इंसाइट मुझे नहीं मिल सकता,
कमरे में नहीं आएगा,
नहीं आएगा, और मैं ऑपरेशंस टीम को बोल भी दूं कि तुम 5 इंटरव्यू कर लो, they will never come up with this kind of an insight, right? So that's why it's kind of important you know to talk to your customers. So And I think now coming back to that fundraise thing, I think so. Maybe that's why it's important to kind of pace it and raise it at the right time when you feel that you have that product love, and now that you have a certain team, and then you can kind of go about and start speaking to investors.
I think so, and I think you may get better value.
Yeah.
You may get less dilution at that point in time, so it may feel more fair.
Yeah.
Having said that, if you have a ton of pedigree, or let's say you're a second-time founder, or whatever is
somebody like you,
whatever is exciting theme for the year for the investors, if you're kind of playing bullseye to that, you
so
may
is it
you
important
may pick up
to structure your pitch accordingly? Like maybe like if we were in COVID times, तो ये था कि आपका numbers कितना है, आपका GMV कितना है. Nobody was talking about net sales. Nobody was talking about profitability and all.
Right.
Now that's the flavor of the season, right? So is it also important to tailor your pitch accordingly?
100%. I mean, obviously you have to move in line with what is hot, right, today. And this was coming, right? So I think some of that froth had to go, and things are already looking up now.
Great, Simran. So would also love to understand your experience as a solo founder and as a woman founder, right? So how's that been, like essentially like dealing with vendors, building your team, right? Dealing with investors, like is it harder for women and essentially like a solo founder to kind of build their business, or like have you kind of found the industry being more accepting?
So I think things have really changed, so I think we're in a better place today than we've ever been, right? I think if you have a great idea, you're showing good execution, people will take you seriously. I think you need to take yourself seriously first, so start prioritizing your own career, your own ambition, at the very core of it, right? And I think sometimes we just shortchange ourselves as women on that. I have been very blessed and very privileged, I think, in huge parts to the networks that I have belonged to, between ISB and McKinsey, very core business networks, which have opened doors for me, be it vendors, be it, relationships in the marketing world, or of course the investing world, right? So I have found it not supremely challenging. Do biases exist? 100% they exist. It's for the same reason they exist in all fields, right? Where if you're young, they'll want to know when are you getting married, because the assumption is that you may not take this seriously post that, right? Or if you're married, then the assumption is if the kid comes along, then how much time will she take off, and then what will happen to this venture. So I think the biases remain. I think you have to work around them, so maybe you can pick investors who have a great track record in investing, in women-led businesses. And you always know. You ask your wife this question today. You meet a guy, in 15 minutes if gender is a concern or not. So cut your losses from those kind of conversations. There's a lot of good people out there. And there is enough capital if you have good execution track record, or a good idea if you're not at execution level today. But take yourself seriously first.
And being a solo founder, right? Like, have you got this advice ki like get a co-founder?
Yeah, and it's as irritating as the advice you get from aunties when you're not married, कि
शादी
कब कर रहे हो, शादी
I think ये हमारे एपिसोड का कवर स्टेटमेंट होना चाहिए.
So for me, Koparo happened in this way, like I told you. So I was socially distancing because Kejriwal asked me to. So there was absolutely zero chance of me meeting any co-founder, and I didn't. And then you get to a certain mark where you've built this up, right? And at this point of time, I don't think I'm going to get a co-founder. I will get more senior people along. And
your team is your co-founders.
Yes. Totally. They're empowered to be so. So I think it's not very necessary. People do ask you this question. But again, I've learned.
और ये fundraising bias भी होता है इसमें.
Yes, बहुत. तो पता नहीं उनको कितनी चिढ़ मचती है, like when you're a solo founder. I think at some level you should also try and understand it. So what are they doing? I mean, it's just hedging their risks, right? कि अगर एक को कुछ हो जाए or whatever, she wants to leave the country or she has some personal crises, and there should be somebody else in the company, right? So I completely understand where they come from, but they should also completely respect where I come from. that I didn't find one. It ain't happening now.
Yeah. Maybe this is a good tech startup to solve Jeevan Sathi for founders or
नहीं यार, I think ये हो नहीं सकता.
Yeah.
You know, I find it the weirdest thing, like on LinkedIn, you know, you will see people who are looking for co-founders, and I'm like, I mean, this is absurd, right?
Yeah.
You've got to have more commonality than that, right? To be on this journey.
But then, what is the top of the funnel? Like, if somebody's actually looking for a skill set which they don't have, then like how else kind of they reach out to, maybe like they explore their personal networks?
Yeah, I think so. I think this would be having to come from a very strong reference or a personal network, or at least people you have known somewhat, or you've known somebody in common before. I think that's very vital, because there is so much trust over here, right? That I don't think this can be just a hire.
Yeah. I mean, you have to really know the person, work with them. Like, you have to have that trust.
Yes, you need to have that work chemistry. You need to have that work chemistry. You need to know how person reacts under pressure.
Yeah. I think like जैसे मेरे और तान्या के केस में like in 2015 when we started, तो लोग बोलते थे कि यार you're a husband wife combo, like how would you work, like तुम balance कैसे करोगे?
Yes.
Right, and हमारे केस में क्या था कि one of us was the left brain and one of us was the right brain, right? So that means she was the more creative one, I was the more analytical one, and you know, like both of us had accepting personalities. So like if I had an idea but she wanted to make it better, we would kind of collaborate and work on it versus saying कि मेरा idea है मैं वैसे करूँगा. So I think that kind of really worked for us. And we've had those moments जब हम सुबह उठ रहे हैं और हमारे घर like room के बाहर ही पूरा white board है, and first thing that we are seeing, and you know I'm seeing the numbers and all, and she is doing that as well. So but I think finding a co-founder is almost like getting married, and you know, like unless you have that vibe, you know, like it's better not to jump into it and make a mistake.
Yes.
And you also, I think, allude to building your personal networks, right? So like अगर कोई आपके background से नहीं है, जैसे है, राइट, लाइक मे बी अगर वो IIT IIM ISB से नहीं है, वो McKinsey में उन्होंने नहीं पढ़ाई करी, सो आपके हिसाब से लाइक व्हाट आर 3-4 थिंग्स दैट फाउंडर्स कैन डू टू बिल्ड देयर पर्सनल ब्रांड एंड बिल्ड देयर पर्सनल नेटवर्क्स?
So I mean, two separate questions. I think your personal network will come from your experiences. You know, it will come from being in touch with the people you went to college with. You know, so initially post business school, you know, your paths really diverge, right? And then you'll slowly see that they start intersecting again. You know. And those are your networks, you know, whether you went to college or you went to business school. Your networks will come from, you know, companies in your associated ecosystems. Like I'm sure like your Accelerate cohort, right? That's their network as well, right? So you'll keep building networks, and your networks will keep intersecting, you know, and getting more and more powerful. Building your personal brand is a different thing. It's something that I believe today is required more than before, you know, because I think particularly for consumer startup, people want to, you know, shoppers want to know the story. They want to know the purpose. They want to shop from mission-led brands, right? And the purpose always comes from some position, you know, some position of story, some position of a gap, a personal experience. And therefore, it's important to put yourself out there, you know. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to feature in all your advertisements, right? But you need to be out there in enough settings, telling your story, you know, and that will help you, you know, compound your brand. I don't think that helps you necessarily build a network. Your network has to be more authentic. It has to come from, you know, places you worked in, places you studied in.
Got it. And like in terms of both, like do you spend a lot of time in like still connecting with your network, and like maybe I see that you're very active on LinkedIn, like you post a lot, and like maybe like Koparo ads like feature you a lot as well, right? So like there's a personal branding element where like I think you spend a lot of time, but do you also spend a lot of time on the building and kind of
entirely organic, you know? So if I'm meeting, you know, friends because it's a Friday, then I'm meeting friends because it's a Friday. I cannot force fit networking. I could never do it, you know, and I still can't. But you find routes, right? So, you know, like our paths have crossed, right? And now if you will see that in the last month, they have crossed 2 to 3 times. And then maybe we won't again talk for 4 to 5 months, right? So it's entirely organic, and I think it has to be a very natural two-way street. I'm not a big proponent of saying that you need to go for mixer X and Y and Z, you know?
And I think also, you know, like as a founder, like like sometimes you also, as you said, I think you also want to offer support, right? Like I reached out to you, ki, like, can you do a session for my Accelerate cohort? You were more than happy to do it, right? And maybe those founders will now connect with you, and you build your community. So I think the industry as a whole is, like if you reach out to people and ask for help, like people do that, and I think that's like a great way to kind of also build your community.
Exactly. You should offer something.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason.
Yeah. And like you and your husband both are founders. You run your different businesses, which is interesting, right? I've had the privilege to know both of you, and you have a young daughter as well. So like, how do you guys like go about work-life balance, right? Like any tips for founders to kind of manage their health, their work, and their personal life all together?
Very big question. But it's tough because you do have only 24 hours in a day. So it's really about prioritization and cutting it up. One thing I do is I don't obsess about work-life balance because there are weeks which will be very bad, and there are weeks where I have ample time for both Karthik and Meera. And therefore, I am not going to burden myself saying I need to solve it at a certain time of the day, X amount of days in a week. I let it happen. And what I have done very consciously is that we work very close to our home, and my daughter's school is very close, and therefore her friends and all her activities are very close.
Community and ecosystem.
So at least what we've done very consciously is we cut out our travel time so that our we're able to maximize the hours that we do get off from work, right? I think the second thing I try and do is be present for a certain amount of hours for Meera in a day, because she's just 8 and she does need to see me, so I do try to spend the evening with her.
How do you kind of switch off? Like, how do you do that?
I'm terrible at it, and Meera is pointing it out all the time. So, like I will ask her, have you heard me? Have you understood? Are you listening? So now I've noticed that wo bhi puchti hai. Wo bolte hai ki you leave your phone and then you talk to me, and I think that is super cool.
My son is 3.5 and he already does this. Like as soon as I'm sitting with him, he'll take my phone, he'll switch off the TV remote, and he'll say, give it to me and talk to me.
But can you imagine how distracted we would be coming across to them to say this? Know?
Because then हमेशा वो anxiousness होती है to just pick up the phone, see the notification, like see the likes on a reel, that dopamine effect, right? Like so, and I think I too find it very hard to kind of switch off as a founder.
And the last thing is sleep. Good sleep. Everyone will have a different way of exercising and things like that, but I feel like little bit of switch off from your devices, whether it's whatever you can do. Again, don't burden yourself. It should not become a metric and another burden, on you. But if you can switch off an hour and a half before, bedtime, right, and you can eat on time, you will sleep better.
Interesting. I think one last thing that I would love to kind of ask you is, how do you deal with failure? Right, like maybe like you've been rejected by a VC, or a month doesn't look like the way it does, or could be anything small or big. So like, what's your mantra to kind of deal with rejections or failure?
I think it's gotten easier over the years. While the stakes get higher, you also have failed enough, so what is your coping.
Entrepreneurship वैसे भी sine wave होती है. Like some days are very good, some days are very bad.
Very bad. So it gets easier over time. I think what helps is also the fact that I worked enough years, for almost a decade and a half before I started Koparo. So I think failure is natural. I think firstly it's just accepting that you will not have a linear growth trajectory. You should not have revenue FOMO. On a daily basis, because this is not an established business. You need to constantly tell yourself that. It's a voice in your head that you need to constantly play.
Every day same nahi hoga. Like every day will not see like a 1 to 5%, 10% growth.
Correct. Right? It's not possible. It's not going to happen, right? You will grow, you will reset your baseline, you will degrow, then you will again reset your baseline, and it's going to look a bit like that. And that's what you have to be comfortable with. I think for me, I think the biggest blessing I've had is Meera.
So cute.
So, you know, she just makes everything else feel so irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, that's my biggest coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
You go back and you say that there is purpose to my life.
Yeah.
I love what I do, but I also have created this life.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it's all going to work out in the long run.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
calm down. Every day and every month was not going to be amazing, and every quarter you will not be hot shit, and
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think a great way to kind of end this section. I think we have this one last section, which is the rapid fire. Like,
Sure.
just to know you a little bit more,
Sure.
beyond the business.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to ask you like 5-7 questions, and what you can answer with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Right.
So, one person that has inspired you the most in your journey.
Karthik, my husband.
What's the most useful piece of advice you've ever been given by a fellow founder and entrepreneur?
It came from a VC actually, saying you live and die with your gross margins.
Interesting. One favorite woman founder in the country.
Vinita.
Tell us about the funniest customer conversation you've ever had.
This happened fairly recently. So, you know, we have a dishwash liquid, it's our hero product. So this guy is like, can I put this in my dishwasher? So we said, we've not designed it for dishwashers. He said, well, what will happen? So we said, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, will you stay on the call with me while I do it? And I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Interesting. But like, did he try it eventually?
I don't know.
Great. One tip you'd like to give to any founder who's looking to start up?
Think distribution as you think product, because distribution has become very difficult and expensive. You know.
And I think as founders हम लोग बहुत marketing, product, everything else पे हम बहुत focus करते हैं, but distribution पे हम इतना focus नहीं करते. So I think for consumer businesses to grow and make money, you have to be kind of distribution led.
Yes.
Your advice to founders looking to raise some money?
Raise as late as possible, as little as possible. They're the best businesses in our country, and for years and years and years have been built bootstrapped.
Pre-2015, the entire Indian economy was based on bootstrap businesses.
So there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe you just have to slow down, but then do that. And when you have to raise it, it will come. The money will come to you. The money will find you.
Yeah.
When you're building something interesting, the phone will ring.
Amazing. Thank you, Simran, so much, for your time today. I can't let you go without, a feedback on Accelerate. I think you've been, you did a session with us as well.
Yes.
You've been mentoring a lot of our startups. So, according to you, like, what is one area where we can actually offer a lot of value or support, to young founders?
I think you're doing a great job. Firstly, I think, big compliment to how much you give back, given that you are doing other things as well with your time, right? So I think that's fantastic. I really enjoy, speaking and spending time with your cohort. I think one other thing that you could possibly do is maybe you can do deeper sessions where we can also take in some questions from the cohort before, so that it's more valuable to them, because frankly you can't cut it up the same way for oral care versus apparel, versus like an enabler, so some deeper sessions may be useful to them.
No, I think super relevant. And we also have a partner for the podcast. You use their services. You did a shout out to them as well. Business on Board. They're one of the largest WhatsApp commerce players in the country, helping brands with customer service, retention, acquiring more users on WhatsApp. Right. So, like, according to you, how is WhatsApp commerce going to grow in the country, and do you think that brands will use it more and more to kind of acquire and interact and engage with customers?
Absolutely. I think, from an ROI perspective, it's the best channel for us between an email and an SMS and a WhatsApp. But obviously, it's a more expensive channel compared to these three. And there, you have to be careful about how much you do, because then it can be, it was basically get very
any
spammy,
channel that
right?
you do, like,
so I think, increasingly, its role in retention marketing is going to be, sliced and diced by lots of startups, and I think we're just about scratching the surface, and the fact that you can complete the transaction in the same loop is very, very powerful. So I think we're going to see a lot more happening around closing the loop using WhatsApp.
Got it. Great. Thank you again, Simran, for your time. I think what you're building is very inspiring, right? Can't wait to, see you build like a 500 crore, 1000 crore company over the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years. I think there's this saying, right, कि consumer brands either die before 5 years or they last beyond 20 years and, build institutions. So I hope that, Koparo becomes an institution. And when my kids grow up, and
they are not ever saying कि 100 नींबू की शक्ति वाला लेना है.
Yeah, या फिर 5 गुना सफेद.
Correct. Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Fabulous. I love being here. I love this conversation. And once again, it's amazing what you're doing for the community. We need people like you.
Amazing. Thank you. And if you're a founder who's building the next big consumer business from India, do check Accelerate out, do apply to a cohort. We can't wait to be a part of your journey.